On Tuesday night, the women's basketball team made the 70-mile trip to Lynchburg to take on the Liberty Flames. The Who's knew that this midweek road trip would be no easy task.
At the beginning of the year, we always said, one of our goals was to be road warriors. So that was our second time on the road. We're 0-1, so we come in knowing that we're not going to have a huge crowd like we have here at JPJ. So we've got to be strong. We've got to bring the energy.
I feel like we started out kind of slow. It took us a little while to get into things, but when we finally did, we started to make really good stops. I think our biggest problem is that when we had them down by about like 9 or 10 points, we didn't put it away.
Even after their early struggles and being much smaller in the post than the Flames, the Cavaliers attacked the front court because they knew that was the key to victory.
Well, our coaches had told us earlier in the week that our scout was big, and that they had a lot of really tall girls, and that, our identity is small, but we have to play as a bigger team. And so we just really locked in, read the scout really well, closed in the gaps as far as on our 12 defense. I think everyone just kind of sunk in and bought into what we were doing.
We've been preparing for that since day one. We knew coming in we were going to be undersized in majority of games that we play. We're not going to be bigger than other kids. So, from the post, we, just tell them they got to stick together and they're going to be undersized, so they've got to be tougher. They've got to be meaner. They've got to outwork, the other kids. I thought we did a good job of boxing out, but they're 6'5", 6'6", and we're 6'1". There's only so much you can do.
When the second half began, Virginia seemed to flip a switch on both ends of the court, causing turnovers that turned into points. Even with those results, they still see room for improvement.
We were just freaking out on offense, honestly. We didn't know what we were doing. We were just unsure of ourselves, but when we really bought in on defense, our coaches told us to lock down, we did.
I thought our defense, really did a great job for us. We turned them over 30 times. We had 20 steals. We got to do a better job of converting on the other end. There were some times down the stretch where we got 2 or 3 steals, but we didn't convert. So we've got to get better at that and do a better job with that.
Late in the game, it was senior captain Atara Franklin who made the clutch plays to put the Who's ahead.
I think Frankie, she's our captain. She's one of our biggest leaders on the floor. I was really happy that she was able to just step up and put the game away as far as her last free throw. The one that before, she just kind of shook it off and was able to get to the line. I was just really proud of her.
This in-state rivalry came down to the wire as Liberty had the ball as time wound down.
Well, our coaches told us to go man. We saw that they were lining up around the free throw line, so I had to drop back and just kind of size up everyone else. I think Ray did really, really well on ball defense, and that kind of helped us out. We were going to switch all screens, and when we did and we realized that they weren't going to get anything out of it, we just locked up, no fouls, and that's how we won the game.
Despite 2 different styles of play, the Wahoos look to use this win to gain momentum going into another tough road game this weekend at West Virginia.
It's going to be like night and day. Liberty and West Virginia, they're completely different. Liberty is more big, want to pound it inside, where, West Virginia's hyper athletes who's going to get after you on the defensive end. It's going to be a war. It's going to come down to toughness. Who's going to be the toughest team and who's going to be able to take care of the ball. Their defense gets them going offensively. So we've really got to do a good job this week of preparing our kids for, a lot of physical play, a lot of hand checking, a lot of smacking and stuff, and be able to finish through the play, expect contact, and finish through it.